Hi everyone, welcome back to another Teach with Koala tutorial. I'm Fred and today I'll be showing you how to use and place action zones in the Koala Playground. And I'll also show you how to use action zones with reaction props. So let's just get right to it. First of all, click on the image or the icon below which says Add Blocks, Objects, Images or Stickies. Once you click on this, select Story Tools. Now, when you click on Story Tools, you should see two options, Action Zones and Reaction Props. So, let's first start by creating an action zone. Now, what at all is an action zone? Action zones are areas that you can place in your playground which sense their contents. When a certain set of stickies or images are placed in an action zone, it will open doors or items or objects that are connected to it. Now, let me show you how that works. First, click on Add Action Zone. Once I click this, I can now select where I want to place my action zone in my Koala Go Playground. Now, I want to place it here. And I can increase the width of the action zone and also the height. Now that I've created my action zone, the first step is to drag an image or a sticky note into the action zone to activate it. Now let's go back and let me start with a sticky note. And I'll create a sticky note with the letter A. Let me put that in capital letters, A. There we go. So, what happens is that when I go back to Story Tools and back to Action Zones, I just have to drag this into my action zone and click here. Press the button below to configure it to react to what it contains. So now, my action zone is active when it contains the letter A. So, we'll realize that when I move A out of it, it becomes white. And when I put the A text back inside it, it becomes green. Now, we've created an action zone, but it doesn't do anything. So, if we wanted to actually do something, we need to create what we call a connection. And I almost forgot, we can click here to change the name of our action zone. So let me name it Fred's Action Zone. There we go. And now, let's go back and let's add a reaction prop. So I'll be adding a red door and we have a list of reaction props which we can choose from. So once I add the red door and I place it here, what I have to do is that I have to go back to Action Zones and click Connections. Now, I'll be connecting this action zone to this door. So, let's see what happens. Every time the letter A is in the action zone, the door opens. So if I put A away, it closes. Now our action zone is fully working. When I put A inside and it turns green, the door opens. So we can see active if it contains the sticky note A and is connected to this door. So we've successfully created our first ever action zone. Now, this action zone really doesn't do much. So how can we create an activity out of action zones? I'll show you how. Let's create an activity using images this time. Let me go back, and let me put a question on the board for my students. Which animal begins with the letter P? And let me color this blue and confirm, and I'll make this big for my students to see on the board. Now, let us go back and let me put my images on the board where my students can choose from. So, I have an image of a corgi dog over here. I have an image of a penguin over here, and I have an image of a porcupine. And let me spice it up a bit and add the rabbits. Now what I'll do is that I'll go back and I'll click on Story Tools, and then to Action Zones, and I'll create a new action zone called, first of all, I have to drag my mouse to where I want to put the answer. So my students would have to put the answer here in the action zone. And I'll name it Animal Action Zone. There we go. Confirm. And let's make the width and the height a bit bigger. Now, which animal begins with the letter P? And that's penguin. So once I've put my correct answer inside the action zone, I just have to click on here, sense the contents of the action zone. Now, penguin is the correct answer. And I can probably put a sticky note somewhere which says, place your answer here. There we go. And it's a bit more obvious for my students. Nope. I have to place it above the action zone because we can't have anything else in the action zone. So let's write place your answer below. And now when I put my penguin inside, it turns green. So you don't really have to do this, but it just makes it more obvious for your students. If my student gets the answer right, I want them to be happy and surprised and shocked. So what I have to do is that I'll add a reaction prop, and let's make it the yellow present. Now, let's connect our action zone to our reaction prop. So click on connection, just like always, and then click on the reaction prop, which is our present. Now, which animal begins with the letter P? Is it a corgi dog? Oops, no, the present didn't open. Is it a porcupine? Nope. Is it a rabbit? Nope. Is it a penguin? And our present opens. Now, you may have some other questions. You can see here that we can create more connections to one action zone. So I can even add another reaction prop, such as maybe a mailbox. Place it here. Go back to action zones, click on plus, and now you can have one action zone connected to one or more reaction props. So what happens is that if I place my penguin in here, the reaction props open at the same time. So the possibilities with action zones are unlimited. You can create as many activities as you want out of action zones, and it just makes your class more interactive, fun, and exciting. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via the help chat. We'd be more than happy to assist you. Happy teaching, everyone!